This just in. Written by Kevin Dayton December 20th, 2019, Honolulu Star Advertiser. In a confusing flurry of activity Thursday, Governor David Ige said he was removing state law enforcement personnel from Mauna Kea for the time being. While a top state law enforcement officer warned the protesters blocking the Mauna Kea access road that they have until December 26th to clear the road or face arrest. Hawaii County Mayor Harry Kim announced county police also will withdraw from the Mauna Kea protests by Friday afternoon. But Police Chief Ferreira said his department is aware of the state's December 26th deadline for the protesters, in quotes. If there is going to be action, they're going to take it. And we're going to support, he said. Limo Kamakau, branch chief of the Department of Land and Natural Resources Division of Conservation and Resource Management, described the new deadline in a briefing for about 75 protesters at the camp shortly after Ige announced law enforcement officials would leave the site of the long standoff. You ain't kidding. Koho'okahi Kanuha, one of the leaders of the protest, said Kamakau also said that if the road is not open by December 26th, law enforcement will come in heavy-handed. In quotes. Also in quotes. He said that all levels of force are on the table, whether it's chemical disbursements, the pepper spray, the mace, whether it's LRAD, long-range acoustic device, all of those implements and those tools or weapons that they brought as well, as was visible on July 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's been communicated to us that those same weapons will be brought back again, and they are prepared to use them if necessary. Kamakau declined comment after the briefing, referring questions to a spokesman for DLNR who was not immediately available. The Mauna Kea access road has been closed since July 15th, and opponents of the $1.4 billion 30-meter telescope established a blockade on the road to prevent TMT equipment from reaching the summit area. The protesters believe construction of the TMT and Mauna Kea would be a desecration of a mountain that many Hawaiians consider sacred. Let's just not talk about, water aquifer, international law. No, it's just many Hawaiians consider sacred. Supporters of the project, including Ige, say the TMT backers have secured all the necessary permits from the state and county and have the right to proceed with construction. But construction of the telescope remains stalled by the protests, which have now lasted more than 22 weeks. On July 17th, police arrested 39 people for obstructing the road, but authorities have made no attempt since then to clear the road to allow work to begin at the TMT site near the summit. Ige has said the state and counties have so far spent $15 million coping with the protests. Ige's office wouldn't comment on the December 26th deadline announced Thursday, other than to say, in quotes, law enforcement officers on site continue to talk with the protesters about restoring full access on Mauna Access Road, just before Kamakau briefed the anti-TMT protesters on the deadline to clear the road. The governor painted a very different picture of his plans for Mauna Kea during an 11 a.m. press conference at the state capitol. The governor did not mention the December 26th deadline. Instead, Ige announced the state enforcement officers would withdraw from the mountain because TMT officials say they were not going to proceed with construction at this time. Ige said, "We have been working with the TMT International Observatory, being prepared for them beginning construction, and when we were informed that they were not going to proceed at this time, we thought that it would be prudent to remove state personnel and start to de-escalate and return access to Mauna Kea Access Road." The Ige administration also distributed a memo in which Ige expressed his severe disappointment that TMT will not move forward for now, despite months of often intense behind-the-scenes discussions. Involving TMT law enforcement and the protesters. Gordon Squires, TMT Vice President for External Relations, released a statement after the governor's news conference that said in part, "We don't want to put our workers, the people of Hawaii, and the protesters at risk." Oh, really? Unfortunately, the state and Hawaii County have not demonstrated that they are able to provide safe, sustained access to Mauna Kea for everyone. The project and our individual partners are committed to moving forward in a manner that honors and supports scientific goals, environmental stewardship, and the traditions and culture of Hawaii. It says, Squires denied any suggestion the project has been put on hold. But he also said he couldn't say exactly when the project could start. He said the project was poised to start construction in July and August, but gearing up again will depend on a variety of factors, some of them out of TMT's control. Really? Noe Wong Wilson, one of the protest leaders, said, "We don't trust government to begin with." And this particular governor, so him making an obtuse statement that TMT has announced that they're not coming for a while, just doesn't hold any water for us, she said. They are simply telling us the road is now open, you're in the way, and you have until the 26th of December over the Christmas holidays to remove any blockage of the road and no options, she said. We asked if there were other options, for example, moving to the side of the road, and they were unclear about that. What is clear, ladies and gentlemen? What is clear? I mean, it's a good question in this case. In every case when it comes to the fake state of Hawaii. Well, 126 years of illegal occupation is clear, according to international law. For one example of many, over so many years. Anyway, signing off from the world's capital of endangered species, my name is Millicent Cummings from Millicent Cummings News, brought to you by Millicent Cummings. Aloha aina, kukia I mauna e. Oh, my goodness. Hi.